the 13th book of Sense and Understanding. Yesterday, Asclepius, I delivered a perfect discourse, but now I think it necessary, in suite of that, to dispute also of sense. 2. For sense and understanding seem to differ because the one is material and the other essential. 3. But unto me, they appear to be both one, or united and not divided in men, I mean. 4. For in other living creatures, sense is united into nature, but in men, to understanding. 5. But the mind differs from understanding, as much as God from divinity. 6. For divinity is from under God, and understanding from the mind, being the sister of the word or speech, and they the instruments one of another. 7. For neither is the word pronounced without understanding, neither is understanding manifested without the word. 8. Therefore sense and understanding do both flow together into a man, as if they were enfolded one within another. 9. For neither is it possible without sense to understand, nor can we have sense without understanding. 10. And yet it is possible for the time being, that the understanding may understand without sense, as they that fancy visions in their dreams. 11. But it seemed unto me that both the operations are in the visions of dreams, and that the sense is stirred up out of sleep into awakening. 12. For man is divided into a body and a soul. When both parts of the sense accord one with another, then is the understanding childed or brought forth by the mind pronounced. 13. For the mind brings forth all intellections or understandings, good ones, when it receiveth good seed from God, and the contrary when it receives them from devils. 14. For there is not part of the world void of the devil, which entering in privately sowed the seed of his own proper operation, and the mind did make pregnant or did bring forth that which was sown. Adulteries, murders, striking of parents, sacrileges, impieties, stranglings, throwing down headlong, and all other things, which are the works of evil demons. 15. And the seeds of God are few, but great and fair, and good, virtue and temperance, and piety. 16. And the piety is the knowledge of God, whom whosoever knoweth, being full of all good things, hath divine understanding, and not like the many. 17. And therefore they that have the knowledge neither please the multitude nor the multitude them, but they seem to be mad and to move laughter, hated and despised, and many times also murdered. 18. For we have already said that wickedness must dwell here, being in her own region. 19. For her region is the earth, and not the world, as some will sometimes say, blaspheming. 20. But the godly or God-worshipping man laying hold on knowledge will despise or tread under all these things, for though they be evil to other men, yet to him all things are good. 21. And upon mature consideration he refers all things to knowledge as that which is most to be wondered at. He alone makes evil things good. 22. But I return again to my discourse of sense. 23. It is therefore a thing proper to man to communicate and conjoin sense and understanding. 24. But every man, as I said before, doth not enjoy understanding, for one man is material, another essential. 25. And he that is material with wickedness, as I said, received from the devils the seed of understanding, but they that are with good essentially are eared with good. 26. For God is the workman of all things, and when he worketh, he useth nature. 27. He maketh all things good like himself. 28. But these things that are made good are in the use of operation, unlawful. 29. For the motion of the world stirring up generations makes qualities, infesting some with evilness and purifying some with good. 30. And the world, Asclepius, hath a peculiar sense and understanding, not like to man's, nor so various or manifold, but a better and more simple. 31. For the sense and understanding of the world is one, in that it makes all things and unmakes them again into itself, for it is the organ of instrument of the will of God. 32. And it is so organized or framed and made for an instrument by God, that receiving all seeds into itself from God, and keeping them in itself, it maketh all things effectually, and dissolving them, reneweth all things. 33. And therefore, like a good husbandman of life, when things are dissolved or loosened, he affords by the casting of seed renovation to all things that grow. 34. There's nothing that it, the world, doth not beget or bring forth alive, and by its motion it makes all things alive. 35. And it is at once both the place and the workman of life. 36. But the bodies are from the matter in a different manner, for some are of earth, some of water, some of air, some of fire, and all are compounded, but some are more compounded, and some are more simple. 37. They that are compounded are the heavier, and they that are less are the higher. 38. And the swiftness of the motion of the world makes the varieties of the qualities of generation, for the spiration of influence being most frequent, extendeth unto the body's qualities with infulness, which is of life. 39. Therefore God is the father of the world, but the world is father of the things in the world. 40. And the world is the son of God, but things in the world are the sons of the world. 41. And therefore it is well called the world, that is an ornament, because it adorneth and beautifieth all things with the variety of generation and indeficiency of life, which though unweariedness of operation and the swiftness of necessity, with the mingling of elements and the order of things done. 42. Therefore it is necessarily and proper called the world. 43. For all living things, both the sense and the understanding cometh into them from without, inspired by them which compasseth them about and continueth them. 44. And the world, receiving it at once from God as soon as it was made, has it still, whatever it once had. 45. But God is not as it seems to some who blaspheme through superstition, without sense and without mind or understanding. 46. For all things that are, O Asclepius, are in God, and made by him, and depend of him, some working by bodies, some moving by a soul like essence, some quickening by a spirit, and some receiving the things that are weary, and all very fitly. 47. Or rather I say that he hath them not, but I declare the truth, he is all things, not receiving them from without, but exhibiting them outwardly. 48. And this is the sense and understanding of God, to move all things always. 49. And there shall never be any time when any of these things that are shall fail or be wanting. 50. But when I say the things that are, I mean God, for the things that are God hath, and neither is there anything without him, nor he without anything. 51. These things, O Asclepius, will appear to be true if thou understand them, but if thou understand them not, incredible. 52. For to understand is to believe, but not to believe is not to understand. For my speech or words reach not unto the truth, but the mind is great, and being led or conducted for a while by speech, is able to attain the truth. 53. And understanding all things round about, and finding them consonant and agreeable to those things that were delivered, and interpreted by speech, believeth, and in that good believeth resteth. 54. To them therefore that understand the things that have been said of God, they are credible, but to them that understand them not, incredible. 55. And let these and thus many things be spoken concerning understanding and sense. The end of the 13th book of Sense and Understanding. Chapter 2, the 14th book of Operation and Sense. Tat. Thou hast well explained these things, Father. Teach me furthermore these things, for thou sayest that science and arts were the operations of the rational, but now thou sayest that beasts are unreasonable, and for what reason? Both are and are called brutes, so that by this reason it must needs follow that unreasonable creatures partake not of science or art, because they come short of reason. 2. Hermes. It must needs be so, son. 3. Ted. Why then, O Father, do we see some unreasonable living creatures use both science and art, as the pismios treasure up for themselves food against winter, And fowls of the air likewise make them nests, and four-footed beasts know their own dens. 4. These things they do, O son, not by science or art, but by nature. For science and art are things that are taught, but none of these brute beasts are taught any of these things. 5. But these things, being natural unto them, are brought by nature, whereas art and science do not happen unto all, but unto some. 6. As men are musicians, but not all, neither are all archers or huntsmen or the rest, but some of them have learned something by the working of science or art. 7. After the same manner also, if some pismires did so and some not, thou mightest well say they gather their food according to science and art. 8. But being they are all led by nature to the same thing, even against their wills, it is manifest they do not do it by science or art. 9. For operations, O tat, being unborderly, are in bodies, and work by bodies. 10. Wherefore, O tat, inasmuch as they are unborderly, thou must needs say they are immortal. 11. But inasmuch as they cannot act without bodies, I say they are always in a body. 12. For those things that are to anything, or for the cause of anything made subject to providence or necessity, cannot possibly remain idle of their own proper operation. 13. For that which is shall ever be, for both the body and the life of it is the same. 14. And by this reason it follows that the bodies also are always, because I affirm that this corporeity is always by the act and operation or for them. 15. For although earthly bodies be subject to dissolution, yet these bodies must be the places and the organs and instruments of acts or operations. 16. But acts or operations are immortal, and that which is immortal is always in act, and therefore also corporification, if it be always. 17. Acts or operations do follow the soul, yet come not suddenly or promiscuously, but some of them come together with being made man, being about brutish or unreasonable things. 18. But the purer operations do insensibly in the change of time work with the oblique part of the soul. 19. And these operations depend upon bodies, and truly they that are corporifying come from the divine bodies into mortal ones. 20. But every one of them acteth both about the body and the soul, and are present with the soul, even without the body. 21. And they are always acts or operations, but the soul is not always in a mortal body, for it can be without her body, but acts or operations cannot be without bodies. 22. This is a sacred speech, son. The body cannot consist without a soul. 23. Tat. How meanest thou that, father? 24. Hermes. Understand it thus, O tat. When the soul is separated from the body, there remaineth that same body. 25. And this same body, according to the time of its abode, is actuated or operated in that it is dissolved and becomes invisible. 26. And these things the body cannot suffer without act or operation, and consequently there remaineth with the body the same act or operation. 27. This then is the difference between an immortal body and a mortal one, that the immortal one consists of one matter, and so doth not the mortal one, and the immortal one doth, but this suffereth. 28. And everything that acteth or operateth is stronger and ruleth, but that which is actuated or operated is ruled. 29. And that which ruleth directeth and governeth as free, but the other is rules a servant. 30. Acts or operations do not only act or operate, living or breathing or ensouled bodies, but also breathless bodies or without souls, wood and stones and such like, increasing and bearing fruit, ripening, corrupting, rotting, putrefying and breaking, or working such like things, and whatsoever inanimate bodies can suffer. 31. Act or operation, O son, is called whatsoever is or is made or done, and there are always many things made, or rather all things. 32. For the world is never widowed or forsaken of any of those things that are, but being always carried or moved in itself, it is in labor to bring forth the things that are, which shall never be left by it to corruption. 33. Let therefore every act or operation be understood to be always immortal, in what manner of body soever it be. 34. But some acts or operations be of divine, some of corruptible bodies, some universal, some peculiar, and some of the generals, and some of the parts of everything. 35. Divine acts or operations therefore there be, and such as work or operate upon their proper bodies, and these also are perfect, and being upon or in perfect bodies. 36. Particular are they which work by any of the living creatures. 37. Proper be they that work upon any of the things that are. 38. By this discourse therefore, O son, it is gathered that all things are full of acts or operations. 39. For if necessarily they be in every body, and that there be many bodies in the world, I may very well affirm that there be many other acts or operations. 40. For many items in one body there if one and a second and a third besides these universal ones that follow. 41. And universal operations I call them that are indeed bodily and are done by the senses and motions. 42. For without these it is impossible that the body should consist. 43. But other operations are proper to the souls of men by arts, sciences, studies, and actions. 44. The senses also follow these operations, or rather, are the effects or perfections of them. 45. Understand therefore, O son, the difference of operations, it is sent from above. 46. But sense being in the body and having its essence from it, when it receiveth act or operation, manifesteth it, making it, as it were, corporeal. 47. Therefore I say that the senses are both corporeal and mortal, having so much existence as the body, for they are born with the body and die with it. 48. But mortal things themselves have not sense, as not consisting of such an essence. 49. For sense can be of no other than a corporeal apprehension, either of evil or good, that comes to the body. 50. But to external bodies there is nothing comes, nothing departs, therefore there is no sense in them. 51. Tat. Doth the sense therefore perceive or apprehend in every body? 52. Hermes. In every body, O son. 53. Tat. And do the acts or operations work in all things? 54. Hermes. Even in things inanimate, O son, but there are differences of senses. 55. For the senses of things rational are with reason of things unreasonable, corporeal only, but the senses of things inanimate are passive only, according to augmentation and diminution. 56. But passion and sense depend both upon one head or height, and are gathered together in the same by acts or operations. 57. But in living whites there be two other operations that follow the senses and passions, to wit, grief and pleasure. 58. On without these it is impossible that a living wight, especially a reasonable one, should perceive or apprehend. 59. Therefore I say that these are the ideas of passions that bear rule, especially in reasonable living wights. 60. The operations work indeed, but the senses do declare and manifest the operations, and they being bodily are moved by the brutish parts of the soul. Therefore I say they are both maleficial or doers of evil. 61. For that which affords the sense to rejoice with pleasure is straightway the cause of many evils happening to him that suffers it. 62. But sorrow gives stronger torments and anguish, therefore doubtless are they both maleficial. 63. The same may be said of the sense of the soul. 64. Tat. Is not the soul incorporeal in the sense a body, father? Or is it rather in the body? 65. Hermes. If we put it in a body, O son, we shall make it like the soul or the operations, for these being unbodily, we say are in bodies. 66. But sense is neither operation nor soul, nor anything else that belongs to the body, but as we have said, and therefore it is not incorporeal. 67. And if it be not incorporeal, it must needs be a body, for we always say that of things that are, some are bodies and some incorporeal. The end of the 14th book of Operation and Sense.